So the trade deadline is over and the New York Giants did not make any moves by that 4 p.m. deadline, man. The trade deadline was today. This is a date that was looming large for a couple different teams. You've seen guys like even in our division, the Commanders went out and traded for Marshawn Lattimore. You've seen a couple other guys fly around the league, but two names that were on the board for the Giants to potentially move off of was Darius Leon and Azeez Ojulari. And at the 4 p.m. deadline, neither of them got dealt. Now, I'm going to be honest. If you ask for my expectations, I did tweet out in the morning. I let everyone know, hey, I don't think either of them are going to get traded today. I don't think neither of them gets moved. And in my opinion, it was just based off of the compensation that was going to be received for those players. I don't believe they would have figured it would be valuable to them. Now there's going to be a lot of things that people are going to say, and we're going to talk about it in this video. But I just didn't think that the Giants would, get the compensation they wanted, and ultimately they would stand put. Now, here's the biggest thing when it comes to both of these players, which both of these players, hey, they both happen to be on expiring contracts. They're going to be free agents. Are you going to re-sign either of them? That's the biggest question. Clearly, the Giants value Azeez Ojulari and Darius Slay, and they felt like the value that they were going to get back, if it was a 6th rounder or 7th rounder, they were not willing to part ways with those players to get those picks. But if you value them that much, the question is, will Joe Schoen in this front office or whoever's in the front office in this offseason retain these guys? Because at the end of the day, if they walk, you're getting nothing back. Now, if I was to trade one of them, it definitely would be Azeez Ojulari. With Kayvon Thibodeau coming back, him going to be, up for contract soon. And with the way this team is headed, obviously we're not going to be winning games this year. Azeez Ojulari could have been dealt for anything, in my opinion. And ultimately, Kayvon Thibodeau comes back. Azeez doesn't see the field that much. You should try to get anything out of Azeez, because when it comes to contracts in the offseason, can you offer this guy a contract? Let's be honest. Should we keep him around, or can we keep him around? This is a guy that's 2 sacks away from his career high. He's been performing for us. And once again, with Kayvon Thibodeau, you just traded for Brian Burns. This guy doesn't have a spot in the starting lineup. He's going to be a rotational pass rusher. Will he get a contract that reflects that? I don't believe so. It might be a little more expensive than that, because it's shown with Azeez, it's never been his ability. It's been his durability, staying on the field. Azeez hasn't been able to stay on the field until this past year, like this year currently. So Azeez Ojulari, I don't think we're going to retain him in the offseason. And then in the offseason, you have a guy that you could have got some type of value for. That was the only chatter that was talked about today. Basically Azeez, and especially with the Falcons being a team that's kind of been performing well, looking to make the playoffs, they need some pass rush help. It was looking like that was going to be a destination, and the Giants stood pat on it, man. If this guy walks in free agency, you don't get any value back. Was it worth retaining him? Was it worth keeping him? You could have stacked up more assets to potentially help you in this upcoming draft, but they don't deal with Azeez Ojulari. Darius Slay, I feel a little bit different about, but the same question lies for him as well. Are you going to re-sign Darius Slay? I'm on the camp that we should re-sign Darius Slay. He's been a guy who's been able to step up even in this offense when Malik Neighbors in it. He's had a couple of 100-yard games, and this is a guy that has been having a good rapport with Daniel Jones. That throw that out the window, because next year it shouldn't be Daniel Jones at the helm. But ultimately, he's been producing with Daniel Jones. So there's no reason for me to think that he can't be an explosive piece for the Giants moving forward. And I don't think he'll cost that much. The pass rush position, it'll be a lot more expensive for a guy like Azeez Ojulari. But Darius Slay, I can see him coming back on not too big of a contract. He'll fall right in the middle tier of those guys. And if you stack him up against receivers in this league, I don't think there's a lot of guys that, wide receiver 2s are going to be a lot better than him. I'm going to be honest. There's some teams that have a stack of receivers, like the Bengals, like the Eagles, that, Darius Slay would be a wide receiver 3 on all of those teams. But you don't think maybe if the Patriots were able to go get him, or the Panthers, like this guy would be a wide receiver 2 virtually everywhere else except the stacked wide receiver room. So I think Slayton's a valuable piece. And once again, if the value wasn't there, I don't blame them for not trading him away. But the truth is that if you don't trade him away and he's on an expiring contract, are you going to re-sign him? Saquon walked in free agency. We didn't trade him last year when the team was bad at the trade deadline as well. There's a couple of different players that we ultimately let them walk for nothing. And we might get a comp pick out of it, but sometimes a comp pick is not valued more than what a trade you would have seen. That's just what the story is. So right now, once again, Darius Slay and Azeez Ojulari will be back on this team for the rest of this year. Will they be back next year? That's the biggest question in my opinion. And for this future of this Giants team, if you're not stacking up chips, you see other teams that have the same record as us moving off of players. Look at the Saints. Look at the Panthers. They're trying to get assets for a team that's not going to win this year. The Giants refuse to do that, and we'll see if it bites them in the butt or if they're going to re-sign some of their guys. Once again, I'm on board for re-signing Slay. Y'all let me know down in the chat, man, who you want to bring back, if we should bring them back, and how do you feel about this trade deadline? We definitely shouldn't trade it for anybody, but now trading away players, that's probably should have been what the move was, man. So y'all let me know down in the comments, man. Stay tuned for more videos dropping this week, man. Hey, are we going to get it done against the Panthers? We're going to talk about that soon, man. Y'all stay up.